What's going on YouTube? It's your boy CamATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As you can see, I have the Greenlight Optimizer up. You can access that at greenlightdfs.com. We are going to go through and kind of break down the slate, give you guys kind of the core plays for the slate, and get you on your way and get you started to that money. greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. Thank you guys for joining me as always. I will do a code word giveaway for MLB in the MLB video. So make sure you go check out the MLB video that I'll be dropping after the NBA video for the code word to be able to get MLB for free. We have just been amazing over about the last week or so. I mean, out of the last 4 contests, we have 3 wins. 2 of them were takedowns, absolute takedowns, and the only reason the one of them didn't cash is because of a weather rainout. But let's go ahead and just keep it going, man. It's just all about the process. You know, there's a few things that I've been doing slightly different over about the last week that's really been helping me and making things a lot better. So super excited for that. But let's go ahead and just keep doing what we do in NBA. I mean, I don't have to look at shit for NBA. I could just straight gut call it and be good with NBA. I've been doing this for so long. So let's go ahead and get to it. Now, starting off, we have Luka Doncic on the Greenlight Optimizer as the highest projected player, above Joel Embiid, above Jokic, above Kawhi, everybody. Luka is a guy who is going to get his regardless, all right? He gets his each and every game. I do like the price of Kristaps Porzingis, though. I've talked multiple times about this matchup against the Clippers and really loving Kristaps Porzingis against the Clippers. He's going to have a huge game against them. Just wait and see, okay? He is going to have a gigantic game against them, and I'm excited for it. And I will have him when it happens. All right, plain and simple. All right, this matchup against the Clippers just struggle versus bigs, man. And this is just a fantastic spot for this dude. All right, so I definitely think that Porzingis is going to absolutely dominate. I think he's going to have a great game here. I know he's gotten the 25 and the 34 the last 2 games, but it's coming. That big game is coming. Don't get me wrong. When the Clippers finally start selling out on Doncic, Porzingis is going to drop one of those 50-plus bombs. Trust me. All right, and I would love to be on him. And at 8.5, that's pretty damn cheap. But you can go any of those ways. I really like Jokic at 9.3 as well. He seems a little too cheap in between Embiid and Leonard. He's been on fire. He's been playing extremely well, 53 and 51 the last 2 games against Utah. And at 9.3, that's value if he does it again. All right, so I really, really love that. Now, Philly is behind. All right, they're 0-2 against Boston. So if they're going to have any chance to be able to recover here, it's going to have to be on the shoulders of Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid knows that. All right, so I would not be surprised to see him come out and absolutely smash in this one after being down 0-2, because they need something. They need something to go right for them. All right, Paul George, huge letdown in this last game. He's 8.3. I would rather Kristaps Porzingis at that price tag. Rudy Gobert is decent. I don't usually love playing bigs against Denver just because that Denver defense is solid regardless, so I don't normally play that too much. Donovan Mitchell is a solid play, but he's 9.4 and Mike Conley is back, so that will give a little bit of a hit to Donovan Mitchell. It's going to give a decent hit to Donovan Mitchell. That's going to be a hit to Jordan Clarkson. Mike Conley being back is definitely a issue for both of them, but Jarrett Allen's a little bit too pricey for me. Let me see how he's been. Jarrett Allen is a guy that, I mean, he can put up some big games. Like, out of nowhere, just randomly, he can put up some big games. I mean, he's got 2 40-plus games in the last 3 games he's played. He went off against Toronto last game. If he can get you 40, the 7-1 is fine. I mean, bare minimum. Bare minimum. Normally, you want to target 6x their price tag. So, with Jarrett Allen, that would be, I'm not doing the math correctly, but like around 40. All right, that's around what we would need for 6x. But you can take 5x in cash games. So 5x is your bare min, 6x is your goal. All right. From there on, Jason Tatum, I understand, I get it. Gordon Hayward's out, but Tatum had a great game this last game. I don't love paying 9.2 for him. I don't know why I feel that way, but I mean 57 and 50 the last 2 games. I'm going to have to be okay with it. It just is what it is. I mean, with Kemba Walker shooting so bad and these other guys not really stepping up too well, Gordon Hayward being out, Jason Tatum's put the team on his shoulders the last 2 games. 57 and 50 the last 2 games. So at 9-2, I would play him. I would. I'm not going to lie. I hate Jason Tatum at 9-2 right now, but the way he's been playing with Hayward out and the matchup against Tobias Harris is bad defensively. I mean, he could drop a 50 bomb again. So I definitely like him. But even if he drops a 50 bomb, that's still 6x. Like 5x is 45. It's a little over 45 for Jason Tatum. 5x, and that's what you want minimum. So you need 50 plus. It's not that you want it. You need 50 plus out of Jason Tatum if you play him. All right. Other people, Jamal Murray. Come on, man. Come on, man. What are they doing? I don't understand sometimes what they're doing. I understand he busted in the last game. I understand that. He busted against Utah in the last game, scoring 22 Draftkings points. Do not let that bias affect you, okay? Jamal Murray is a guy who takes a good amount of shots. He took 20 field goal attempts in that first game. Played 40 minutes. He plays a ton of minutes. So even if his shot is off, he can get you a solid floor. Now, I get the 22 is super low. He just had an off day. Plain and simple, he had an off day. These guys have it from time to time. I expect him to bounce that back, though. It's a solid matchup against the Utah guards. Love Jamal Murray at 7K. I think the 35 being our 5X goal that we need for cash games is easily accessible, and I see him getting over 40 here, with the upside of 60, as you saw on August 17th. All right. Next up, what other guys that we really want to? So I would say Jamal Murray's part of my core today for sure. I want to take a look at Karis LeVert real quick. Let's take a look at Karis LeVert because he's been dropping 40 pluses, and if that's 5x. So in cash games for safety, with Brooklyn missing all of their players, I mean 61, 47, 42 his last 3 games. He's been playing extremely well here against Toronto. I think that he could easily hit value once again, and at 8-1, he's playable. I'm completely fine with that. Let's talk Fred VanVleet, because VanVleet's one of my favorite players, honestly, that I'll be having some exposure to. Fred VanVleet, let me go back to him, sorry. Here he is. Fred VanVleet, 7'6". He's going against Brooklyn, just spectacular matchup, and this dude is just an absolute hustler, man. He's taken 15 and 22 shots the last 2 games. Also gotten double-doubles both games, 11 assists, 10 assists those 2 games. He is hustling, playing 40 minutes on average. Over 40 minutes on average. Fred VanVleet taking 20 shots, playing over 40 minutes on average against Brooklyn. He's going to consistently be dropping right around 50 or more. I mean, he's not an all-star, but this is just a hustler, man. I love players like this in DFS because they just find a way to get it. Even if they start the game out slow, they can end up getting it so quickly down the lines and hitting value. So, I mean, honestly, at 7'6", we need 40. We're going to get it. All right, plain and simple. So Fred VanVleet's in the core. Jamal Murray's in my core. If I had to choose, man, I could keep screwing myself, but Porzingis is going to get him one, and it's gonna be here. I'm calling it right now. I've called it every single game this playoffs, but hey, don't tell anybody. Kristaps Porzingis, I'm calling it now. 8-5. I think Porzingis drops a 50 bomb tonight. He's going to get it. Clippers are not good defensively down low. This is where Porzingis explodes, okay? This is where, you know, the Clippers are going to put a ton of attention on Doncic and kind of leave Porzingis open for those mid-rangers. And I think Porzingis is going to have a solid game here at 8-5. So I'm going to go with him. Let's look at our value options on the slate today. So for our value options, Reggie Jackson. All right, now obviously pay attention to injury news. Let me see if there's anything. I believe Patrick Beverley will not play. Patrick Beverley is not going to play, I don't believe. So that means that Reggie Jackson is going to have a great opportunity here. All right. Reggie, when he gets his minutes, is a guy who consistently will put up some points. Now, I get it. The last 2 games, he sucked. He started against Dallas in this last game and only got 18. But the bright side is he played 26 minutes. So if Reggie Jackson gets 25-plus minutes, he will hit value here. 3-5 is just ridiculous. I think Reggie Jackson is a fantastic play, especially if he starts, and I'm expecting him to start in one of the highest totals of the day. I'm going to go Reggie Jackson in my core as well as my core value. Being that he has sucked the last 2 games against Dallas, people might be off of him. This is the spot that I would hop back on that. All right. And outside of that, Montrezl Harrell at 4-1 seems really cheap. Let me check out Montrezl Harrell. See if they have started giving him his minutes yet real quick. All right. So Montrezl Harrell, he got 8 and 11. His minutes went from 15 up to 22. So expect about 25 minutes here, a little bit more of a minutes bump. I mean, Harrell's not a very consistent guy, but if he gets 25 minutes, I mean, he could have a solid game for sure. This is one of the higher totals. All right. This is a solid spot here as his minutes are creeping up. 15 minutes, 22 minutes. I'm expecting 25 or more in this one as it's crept up. And Montrezl Harrell is a guy, look, we've played him a million times throughout the year. You know what I mean? Like, he is a solid play. Mainly you want to play him when, like, Zubac or, you know, Paul George or Kawhi Leonard are out, of course. But Montrezl Harrell still at only 4-1. We need 20 for 5x bare minute in cash games. I think we can get us 24, 25 points here. All right, so he's another guy that I really, really like. Outside of that, that's about it, man. So the way that I'm really loving the slate right now, the way that I'm really leaning, obviously I love the Doncic and Embiid Jokics in the world, don't get me wrong. I want to be on Porzingis when he gets that 50 bomb at only 8.5. So I'm going to go Porzingis, really like him. Don't be surprised to see Paul George pop out. But I'm going to go Porzingis, and then those two guards, Fred VanVleet, Jamal Murray. Love both of those guys as well. And as the value, Montrezl Harrell and Reggie Jackson. Those are the guys that I'm really, really liking. Let's switch over to Fanduel real quick and see what our pricing is looking like over here. I'm not going to spend too long over here, just solely on the fact that this video is already over 10 minutes. Pricing-wise, let's see. Kristaps Porzingis, 8.5. Great play. Like him over here, too. 7.9. Paul George is a value. I really, really like him. Let's see what the optimizer has for point per dollar as the best play. So it really loves Joel Embiid at center. The optimizer really, really loves playing Joel Embiid at center. Tyler Johnson at point guard at 4.2 is one of the better values. Kristaps Porzingis, love him. Fanduel at only 3.6 is a solid value. You see Montrezl Harrell's price over here is 4.7 compared to 4.1 over on DK, so that's not playable. I'd rather him over on DK for sure. Zubac is a guy who has been consistently putting up points. He's fine, but on FanDuel, you probably pay up for Joel Embiid. It just depends on your roster construction. That's kind of the way I would go. Let's just check these other prices, see if anything's crazy. Jarrett Allen's right around the same price. Jamal Murray 7.5, definitely playable, right around the same price as well. Jaylen Brown is 7K is playable. Kemba Walker can be played. There's not a bunch that really sticks out to me as like super sexy, honestly, over here on FanDuel. I'll have to do some more takes on it as the day goes on before lock happens, but yeah, we'll look into it. Fanduel is a solid value, but I'd probably go Joel Embiid over here. It is tough because Embiid's only 400 less than Doncic. It's a tough decision, but I mean, hey, maybe you can get both. All right, good luck, y'all. GreenlightDFS.com. Join the squad. Remember, come join me over on the MLB video for the code word giveaway. Thank you guys for joining me as always, and I'm out. Peace.